It's 2019 and I'm on the road. A couple of days ago I endured the roughest sustained pounding that I've ever experienced towing a caravan, and I lost a fridge in the process. So after cleaning up the mayhem, yesterday was a breeze as we made our way towards the Stuart Highway. Today we continue on to Katherine, where I hope to get the fridge repaired or replaced. We drop in on Daly Waters, Larimar and Mataranka en route. Enjoy. I walked into that outside mirror last night and yep, I knocked it right out of kilter. That would be right. There was a guy looking at a road yesterday and I saw it and thought it was into a gravel dump. I pulled up, turned around, went back, and no, I think it was a road into a property as it turned out, or maybe into a mine or something like that. Anyway, he was looking for somewhere to park and I just kept coming along and I saw this turnaround on this right hand side and I jumped it. Good spot for the night. It's the 14th of July, Matt's birthday. He's 45 years, good God. They're getting older. It's 7 minutes to 9 and we're only about 14k from Daly Waters, 7 from the turn off down here. Did about 355 or thereabouts kilometres yesterday. The aim is to get as close to Katherine as we could and go CIL a ring with regard to the fridge to see if there's a possibility of a claim. She wasn't able to give me an answer, but she'd get someone to give me a call back. Now I have written my blog and I decided not to upload it until after I've got their answer back, because I have said a couple of things that will incriminate myself, so we'll see what happens. Other than that, yep, when we went to pump the tyres up yesterday morning, the battery didn't want to know about it. Last night I decided I would put the battery, the auxiliary battery on charge, so I ran the generator and put her up, went out and had an error thing showing. And the error message was telling me that the battery looked as though it was in dire straits, that it really needed to be rejuvenated. Now apparently if you let one of these batteries run pretty flat, then all the sulfurs and dioxides and all that sort of stuff inside the battery needs to be broken up or needs to be rejuvenated or something. So I went through the process. I said it can take, you can put it on, it'll do it for 24 hours, but you can cancel it at any time. So I put it on for an hour and then went back and turned it off, turned the rejuvenation off. The battery charged up to a full charge inside the next three-quarters of an hour. So hopefully now we got that battery right up. We did run it flat the other day, absolutely. And it's been sitting around for the last 4 or 5 years. Hasn't been doing an awful lot of work until this trip, and then to ask it to run the fridge as a freezer, and the fact that it sat there for 5-6 weeks without an awful lot of running inhibitant, and yeah, it I dare say it sort of died out again. So it charged up the other day, we've charged it up again, we've rejuvenated it a wee bit anyway. We might do the rejuvenation process again, but that's something else we've got to think about when we stop at night time, is when we put the generator on, is to actually throw the battery onto the battery charge onto that auxiliary battery. It's being asked to do an awful lot, a hell of a lot. It's a glass mat battery, so it's supposed to be able to take an awful lot of punishment. They're expensive, but again, as long as we service it and look after it properly, it should be okay. 2 kilometres to the, so we're only probably about, well, even 7 kilometres from the main road. 5 thereabouts. Anyway, doesn't matter, we're out of the way for the night. We did have phone signal last night. The data aspect of things was very, very slow, so couldn't upload pictures or do anything like that. And it was really just a matter of very, very light stuff on the net and on the data side of things with the phone. But we did have something. I was able to contact CIL, that was one thing anyway. So Tennant Creek to the left, Katherine to the right. And there's a heap of people in the caravan park there. Or is it a rest area? It's a rest area, so there you go. Just do a quick look at this. So that's the highway in. A bit of action happening here last night by the looks of things, and this morning. We are going in to have a look at Daly Waters. Just a quick in and out, make sure it's still there. 130 speed limit along here. I don't think we're getting anywhere near any of that, that's for sure. There's something grumbling away underneath. It all sounds okay when I'm just behind the window down, but just sort of hear subsonics. I think it's the muffler rattling around down there. We've got a few things to have looked at and sorted out when we get to Katherine. But I'm afraid I'm going to wind up being a chicane in the whole deal of things, I think. I think we're going to have to push along a bit more this morning. It'll have to be an 80 at least. Yeah, there is the airstrip, and it does run in that angle. I don't believe I've seen that before. That airstrip is historic in the fact that it was basically our first international airstrip, I believe. Need to check that, but it was certainly used for the round the world air race in the 30s, and it was certainly a jumping off point and an international air terminal for some time into the 50s, I believe. These days used for light aircraft and for Royal Flying Doctor and there was a World War II aerodrome, that's for sure as well. It was famous before that. Well, the place is pretty popular this morning, that's for sure. In 1862, John McDowell Stuart successfully crossed the continent from south to north. After breaking through the Lancewood scrub that thwarted his previous attempts, Stuart discovered fresh water. This area was given the name Daly Waters in honour of the then Governor of South Australia, Sir Dominic Daly. The telegraph line followed Stuart's route north. An original telegraph pole dating back to approximately 1878 was found out bush in 2009 and is now erected outside the pub. Fresh water was vital for droving, and Daly Waters was the last watering hole before the perilous Moranti stock route. When the Durack brothers drove their entire herd from Queensland to the West Australian coast, Daly Waters was a landmark stop. The cattle were rested and the men quenched their thirst. Today that tradition still stands, although caravans and backpackers have replaced the drovers and cattle. Today the pub is still a welcome destination for travellers. The pub is renowned for its service, hospitality, great food and cold beer. Memorabilia adorns the walls, from Irish football jerseys to bras. Wherever you look, there is something interesting to read or ponder its origin. The historic pub was licensed in 1938 to service passengers and crew from the nearby airfield. Daly Waters Airfield was a centre for the London to Sydney air race of 1926, a refuelling stop for early Qantas flights to Singapore, a World War II Air Force base, and more recently an operational base for joint military manoeuvres. Although the aerodrome was closed to commercial traffic in 1965, the original Qantas hangar still stands, housing exhibits of photographs and equipment from the area's aviation past. These days, the Daly Waters Aerodrome is in semi-retirement, with private aircraft, mining exploration companies and AirMed, or remote area medical services, constituting the bulk of the traffic. So, Daly Waters, a quick tour. So this is the Daly Waters. That's the hangar. Airstrip's been all upgraded apparently by the looks of things. It's now used as a full-time airstrip. And all that stuff there, it's inside the gate, that used to be out on the airfield itself. So they converted it back to a working airstrip, but having a look in the building and that, I need to go back and check the video from 2013, which was still pretty late, but I got a feeling that the place is not being looked after as well as what it could be, for what it is, I feel. There's a bit of wind blowing at the moment, there's tin flapping. They could at least go in and do a working bee and just tidy the place up a bit, just tighten it up. Sad, but still, there you go. Okay, enough dilly-dallying around. It's 9:37, it's time to hit the road. Jack, and don't you come back, no more, no more, no more. Okay, so there's a big gravel pit right opposite the Daly Waters thing. 88 to Larimar is our next point of call. So we'll lock this thing at 80 kilometres an hour, I think, and away we go. Yeah, you can imagine that with the 130 kilometre an hour speed limit up here, all those people from down south who have been restricted to the 100 kilometres an hour are going to be having a birthday up here at the moment. Guy with the caravan on's got a bit of bloody tow. Well, he picked up to go around me. I do these newfangled four-cylinder turbo engines are pretty good from that point of view. Longevity, that's another thing. It'll be interesting to see how that goes on. That bloke in the car's right up his arse. He's not looking to overtake. Are they travelling together? In which case, why not hang back a bit? What have we got here? An oversized loader or something coming towards us? Yeah, that car's going past him. Interesting.
Yeah, mate, I think we're not going too bad, but I'll, yeah, what are you having a bit of smoke or something, are you? I just finished cutting up the beef and then just got to put all the stuff in the cold room. Yeah, right, just keep doing that and then, yeah, it gets yell anyway, but all doesn't seem to be going too bad at the moment, you know. Virgin Irish.
There's a rest area coming up here on the left. We're going to take a few minutes off. A few people camped here last night, by the looks of things. Well, there was a loo there. I don't know about the other side, but this side, it definitely needed a pump out. It was no good, and there was no paper. But anyway, we shall fight on. This is a bit that gets infuriating for people. It's bad enough that they've got a chicane like me in the way, but every time they want to overtake, the cars coming the other way are just well spaced. Perfectly spaced so they can't really get out and get around in time. Going there, you might get around, mate. Larimar was the railhead on the North Australia Railway during World War II. The town's original pub was 9 kilometres south in Burdham, but was moved when Larimar became the end of the railway. The 8th Australian Staging Camp, built by the Australian Army, was set up in Larimar for troops making the journey by road from Adelaide before transferring onto rail at Larimar siding for the rest of the journey to Darwin. The number 45 Australian Camp Hospital was also set up at Larimar by the Australian Army. The fuel station burnt down in October 2009, so no fuel is available in Larrimah. The closest fuel available is 76 kilometres to the north at Mataranka, or at Daly Waters, 100 kilometres to the south. That was an early lunch here at the Larimar Pink Panther pub. That building over the road to the right is the museum, and in there is where we gleaned as much information as we could about the Gorrie airfield, which is up the road of Whisker, and that's where Dad served some of his time during the war, World War II, in the stores. We did a fair bit of a piece on that on that's about DVD. Okay, time to move on north. It's 11:38. Used to be a service station just there, and it got burnt down. It's never been replaced. So there's no fuel available here at Larimar. Gathering of the clan. And that was Larimar. Mataranka 76, Katherine 178. Build up to our cruising speed of 130 knots. Right. We've hit 80 and we'll lock her in there, and that'll do us now for a while. On cruise, someone's taken a big one off the road there. And cruise control is on, we can sit back and have a sleep. Don't say that. Another rest area coming up on the right this time. To Mataranka. This road's deteriorated a bit just recently, and as far as I know, it's still a 130 kilometre an hour road. Well, it's not a 130 kilometre an hour road in its current state, that's for sure. But I believe the limit is still at that. If they're going to maintain that limit along here, it's very badly in need of a repave at the moment, that's for sure. Turn off here to Roper Bar. That's the top end of the Savannah Way. Did that in 2005. Wouldn't mind doing it again, but not with the caravan on. Mataranka 7, Katherine 117. Mataranka, back in 2005. The lady here obviously saw the how charming I was. Propositioned me, she did. Told me that she would be more than happy to be my woman. She wasn't over tall, she was fairly heavy set, she was black, and she had 2 teeth in her head. Oh dear. Did I make a wrong decision? I knocked her back. Termite Mound, museum. The markets are packing up. $1.60 for diesel. Alright, I think we just might. Take a breather. Mataranka is located to the south of Katherine on the Stuart Hwy. The main attraction in the Mataranka region is the Elsie National Park, which contains the beautiful Roper River and 2 great thermal pools, Better Springs at the northern end of town and the Rainbow Springs to the south. Bitter Springs flows at a constant 32 degrees centigrade and are still very much in their natural state. Swimmers can glide with the current downstream to view the beautiful riparian vegetation and birdlife along the way. With a mask and snorkel, small fish and turtles can be seen as the water is fantastically clear. A movie based on Jeannie Gunn's book We of the Never Never was shot around Mataranka and at Pine Creek in the early 1980s. A replica of the old Elsie homestead was erected for the film at Mataranka Homestead and is a major tourist attraction reminding us of those early days. Jeannie Gunn died in Melbourne on the 15th of June 1951. In a tribute to her, the then parliamentary member for the territory, Jock Nelson, stated in part that she depicted the life, the spirit and the north as no other person has been able to do before or since. Rainbow Springs, or Mataranka Thermal Pools as it is also known, has been accessible to the public for much longer than the other areas of Elsey National Park, and hence has been enhanced over time through the installation of concrete walls, staircases, boardwalks and paved areas. At Rainbow Springs, the water flows at a constant 34 degrees centigrade and is also beautiful and clear and superb for swimming. It's interesting the way the locals, they sit down cross-legged in a circle. It's the way they do it. These people are all speaking lingo too. Okay, we're going to start heading towards Katherine. Well, that was good. They do take the RAC cards here. That saved me 4 cents a litre, which in effect gave me my fuel $145 45 cents, and saved me quite a bit of, saved me a few bucks. Okay, so it's now nearly 4:30. I'm uploading my videos. Riverview Caravan Park is just out the road out here. But I'm thinking that I might head out the road and see if I can find that gravel pit that we stayed in 2013. Although it might be a bit far out. We'll go and see, but I need something where I can get some signal. That's the problem. So there were 2 police cars came screaming, 3 police cars came screaming past, and an ambulance, and they all stopped just there where that police car is in front of us. So something happened over there. Whether there's been an altercation or whatever. And the ambulance went away after a while, so we're assuming maybe but there might have been a little bit of domestic violence or something. Katherine looks like another one of those friendly towns that's got tall fences around all the properties. Oh shit, and I've left my window open as well. Better go and do that. No camping? Okay. So, but the Trans-Australia, this is over the Ghan railway line, I think it is. $24K. I don't want to go that far out, if I can help it. If you enjoyed this video, there are over 400 more just like it on this channel. Subscribe and hit the notification bell and we'll let you know when our next video is available. If you like this video, hit the like button and maybe even leave a comment. If you weren't too impressed, then the dislike button tells us absolutely nothing. So tell us why, so that we can do something about it. Thanks for watching.